Temple presents St. Kitts Music Festival as we tour around the island. We're here with a very important man. Pleasure, honor to meet him, Mr. Maurice Widdowson. He's actually the owner of this property that we're on. And around us, we're seeing this old sugar mill. And I was able to get some history on it, but we're now with the man. Let me welcome him to Temple.
Thank you very much. This estate is called Wingfield Estate.
Yes.
Its significance is because it was the first land grant given by the King of England in the entire English-speaking Caribbean. The land grant was 1,000 acres, and it was given to a gentleman called Sam Jefferson.
Right.
And Sam Jefferson was, in fact, the great-great-great-grandfather of Thomas Jefferson,
right,
the
yes.
third president of the United States of America.
Yes.
Those two facts are quite significant. Further significant facts about this area are the fact that on this site are the first examples of British masonry in
Yes.
the entire New World,
Right.
not just the
That's
Caribbean.
awesome.
Which is awesome because although America was colonized before the Caribbean, they built of timber in America.
Right.
And here they built of masonry. So the masonry was shipped out originally as ballast.
Wow.
And whenever you look around you, as you will be doing over the next few minutes, and you see brickwork, red brick, it generally means 17th century, and the bricks were brought out as ballast. as
Wow.
well. Many of them have got the names of the original brickworks on, as you can see as you wander around. And you just Google the name and you get all the history of the brickworks, when they're made and things like that.
Wow.
Now, the significance of this particular estate is it was the first working estate in the Caribbean. It was the first estate to contribute basically to the economy of Britain, and the first crops here were indigo and tobacco.
Right.
That only lasted a short period of time, although the tobacco commanded a very high price on the tobacco markets in Liverpool, actually. But in approximately, and this date is not cast in concrete, about 1638 there was a devastating hurricane that wiped out all the properties and all the crops. And it was at that time sugar was in the ascendancy, and they then switched to the crop sugar, which was much stronger in the face of hurricane. This, I must say, is a work in progress.
Right.
You know, what you're seeing here is not the finished article, but the water wheel was there, and here you see the coppers.
Yes.
The cane would eventually, after a process, end up in these coppers. The coppers were fed from fire underneath. I'll take you into the firing chambers shortly. And they eventually separated the sugar from the molasses, were put into trays around the edge there, and the sugar would crystallize on the surface of the molasses and would be then put in wooden barrels along where the tobacco is growing at the moment, and then through the hole in the wall put on carts and taken down to the port. Going down now to the interesting tunnel which runs underneath all this lot. To come to this first place here, when your eyes get used to light, you can see the bottom of the copper. Mm-hmm. And in here they used to use all the dross off the sugar cane and things, and that was the combustible media they used to fire the flames. And these, which we only unearthed about 12 months ago, were the vents to fan the flames and keep the flames going continuously. Mm-hmm. This tunnel was built over 2 centuries, and it's in 3 parts. And strangely enough, you'd think the tunnel would start at that end and work this way. That's not the way it happened. It started at that end and worked this way. You're welcome to go down there, but there's lots of hairy monsters down there, and I'd rather you do it without me.
Right, so we're going to head back out to where now?
We're going to head now to what I consider to be the most exciting find from this entire site. We started excavating this in January, having just seen some brickwork exposed after a heavy rainstorm. Mm-hmm. Remember, I said brickwork means 17th century?
Yes.
And to our absolute astonishment, and we're only about less than a fifth of the way through this, the archaeologist returns in about 5 days' time on the 8th of July, and we're continuing. This goes down at least another 6 feet.
Wow.
It is the site of a rum distillery, which is intact, and it predates 1685.
Wow.
I know that as a fact because the inventory of Wingfield Estate of 1685 states 3 stills, 3 worms, and all the paraphernalia for producing rum. And if you come to the right-hand side here, the circular bit is where the rum still sat, and below that was fire, below that was a grate, so you can see
you can go down quite a lot, yes.
And then it came out of the gooseneck into a spiral, the worm it was called, which converted the alcohol gas into liquid. The liquid then went out of the side and into the tops of barrels.
We're on the Wingfield Estate here in beautiful St. Kitts, and we're with Maurice. He is the owner of the property. Well, thank you so much for being with us on Tempo, and we wish you all blessings and success in all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you
for coming.
Thank you.
I enjoyed your company, and come again when we're ready for you.
Thank you.
Fully ready.
Tempo presents St. Kitts.